Welcome, everybody. You ever feel like your life is just too complicated? There's too much family drama going on. You don't know who you love sexually and who you're related to. Sometimes it's both.
Welcome to the attic.
It's VC's Peasies.
Hi.
It's a beautiful morning.
It's a beautiful morning here. We're back in the attic because spring has sprunked. It's sprunked.
It's about to spunk. The pollen is
it's
jizzing.
It's ready. The attic's not really a climate-controlled environment, so if it's too cold or too hot, it's not a vibe.
I disagree, but Katie does not. She's not a climate-controlled environment.
I am not.
You are not.
I'm just waiting. Honestly, I'm waiting for those, menopausal hot flashes to really,
I feel like I was born with them. I am always too hot.
And I'm always too cold.
Hot.
Never in twain shall we meet. Today...
oh, honey.
So today we're doing an episode of Honey. I'm Katie. That's Tia.
Oh, honey. I'm Tia. That's Katie.
I'm having a coffee.
Having a coffee talk.
I think you're reading the back.
Ooh, I did bendies on the pages. That's why I stopped writing notes.
Oh, okay.
I wrote 5 notes for this book.
Yeah, she do be.
I honestly, maybe a dozen.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I think you read the flap sentence? The back sentence?
Yes.
Okay. So here is Honeylicious Broad.
Honey, ellipses. Raised on her strict grandfather's farm, her natural-born talent for the violin gave her a new life. And love with a handsome soulmate. Mm-hmm. Will a shocking revelation shatter her newfound happiness?
No. Nope. Didn't.
Cool.
Yeah, so we open with a shocking family truth discovered at the age of 17.
Which I didn't find very shocking.
No, when it
happens.
happens.
Neither of us found very shocking.
And can I tell you how unshocking it was?
Sure.
I
Sure.
forgot what it was.
Yeah, you did. You're like, there wasn't one. I was like, there was one.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh.
Yeah.
There was one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I forgot. It was so dumb. It was so dumb.
It was so dumb.
And we have a prologue that's less than a page, and that's all just secrets. And the secrets of the secretude secreted upon me.
Literally just that. She just said it 100 million times. She was like, secrets are secrets until they're no longer secrets and they're shocking truths.
When the secret is unsecreted.
Shocking truths is definitely a recurring theme.
It's a neat
shocking truth.
Yes, for the bingo card.
Ooh, yeah.
Which, we'll get there. We learn about Uncle Peter, who died in a crop dusting accident. Someone farted in his face and walked away, and then he died.
Yep, that's what happened.
That's what happened, I think.
And he was Honey's first pretend boyfriend.
That was weird.
I thought that was cute. When you're little, you don't understand. Little kids are like, I'm going to marry you, Mom. You know what I mean? She wasn't it's when she was little. It wasn't like she was 17 and she's just like, we're dating.
I'm sure it's just, the neaterness of it all.
Sure, you gotta read it.
You gotta read into it. You really ruined all this, pretending your uncle's your boyfriend stuff.
He ruined it for everyone.
He ruined it for everybody.
Rude. They live on a corn farm with chickens and dairy cows.
They are workaholics.
They're corny.
Daddy was as serious and religious as Granddad, but only on for one note. That doesn't go ahead. It's only
major. It's mostly just harlotry, right?
I don't know.
No,
He just is basically he never stands up to Granddad.
Oh, Daddy. I thought you meant Granddad.
No, Daddy.
Yeah, it's they say that he's as religious as Granddad, but that doesn't really...
That never happens.
Yeah, it doesn't track with the rest of the story. Surprisingly. Surprisingly.
It's just that he never, when Granddad gets a ripping and a scripping, and Daddy is never like, hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's just like, yes,
yes,
God
Daddy.
God and
yes,
Jesus.
God, Daddy. There's step-uncle Simon, who's treated very shittily by Granddad.
He's Granddad Foreman's stepson.
Step-uncle Simon.
Yeah. He grew so big so fast, it drained his brain of the good able thinkins, but he's strong, and he has to live in the barn.
He's gotta live in the fucking barn.
And why?
Because he's smelly.
He stinks.
He smells. Smell boy.
And also he has no hot water, so...
Yeah.
Mommy, who is Russian...
She is Russian.
And she still got part of an accent, which I was delighted in reading everything she said. she was just, like, telling Granddad, like, there's no fucking hot water for him to bathe.
Yeah, and, yep.
And he's just like, well, he should not smell. He's just like, maybe he shouldn't live in the barn also, and then he wouldn't smell. And he's like, well, then he should just not smell.
Speaking of mommy, she is a shapely Russian, but doesn't show off her figure, thus purity. Did I say that?
Modest.
And it's notated that Simon's a shade above mentally retarded. Did I already say that?
You did not. Yeah.
Okay.
Dropped a hard R.
Yep.
I didn't make that note.
I make the note, like, I'm not saying these things. I feel like it's so redonkulous.
Yeah.
Like, we have to know when he says them. We gotta know. I don't go around saying cripple.
True.
Thank you.
This is true.
I say it because, like,
we're just
what the fuck? Why are you fuck? No one say, I don't go around and say, look at them Oriental cripples who are mentally retarded.
You sure don't, but you just did.
Say that.
Uncle Peter...
Slim Daddy.
Of the flaxen hair and cornfield beaming smile. His smile beamed like the cornfield. I don't...
Do they beam?
That's what it said.
Were his teeth yellow?
Ew. Ew. Better than mirror balls or tiny mirrors reflecting like a terrible, scary thing.
I noted a quote that says, when Uncle Simon was permitted to dine with us, and I was like, what the fuck? Uncle Peter was apparently the best and only thing that Granddad loved, and there was arm-razzling tomfoolery at one point. I don't know. And then... Because, like, Uncle Peter was, like, he was so wacky that there was arm-razzling tomfoolery and fun, and then Granddad was like, Granddad married his sister-in-law when his wife died.
Yep.
What?
And the sister-in-law is... That's why Uncle Simon is step-uncle Simon. Yeah. Although, Honey does not consider him step-uncle. She's like, I never called him step-uncle. Who does that? Hello, step-uncle.
Yeah, people don't do that either.
What are you doing, step-uncle?
You know what? I thought it was going to go... There's many drops and dribbles of that. There are many incestuous dribbles, and we never get
so fucking disgusting.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, you did.
Granddad's religious philosophy prevents him from taking any responsibility Uncle Jacob Logan style, which it's delightfully convenient. I mean, nope, it's not my fault. God does everything, and I have no responsibility.
Yep, but you have responsibility to God.
Sure do.
Other people. We find out pretty early on that Honey's thing is violin, and I was just like, can I just skip to the epilogue?
Yeah, you did say that.
I did. I just wanted to do that.
This is the part where I notate. So back to Uncle Peter's death. Like, it was like a lot of setup and characters, and it's like, oh, by the way, he died, died on page 1, so
horrible,
sorry. Uncle Simon rips a tree out of the ground, because he's strong.
He's strong, and he's so upset, y'all.
No sobbing at dinner. Granddad's like, can we shut the fuck up? Can we all just shut the fuck up?
He really do be like that. He's like, this is not godly to cry at dinner. God provided us this food that we worked really hard for.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
I spat all over my phone doing that. Granddad is 6'3", not hulking, and more of a closed fist. Hunched shoulders with a belly pooch, but so strong, y'all.
Yeah, he's like...
Honey notates, once he must have been fairly good looking. Sick burn. Ooh.
And that reminded me of my sister Marissa's picture. My sister Marissa sent a Snapchat once where she was holding one of her senior photos and making like this face, and the caption was "back when I was good looking." I'll post that for you guys because it's really fucking funny. It's my favorite thing ever. And I read it like this: "Back when I was good looking." So when you see that post,
read it in that voice.
Read it like that. Back when I was good looking.
I would like to notate that Honey has a Stradivarius violin, the most expensive.
Those are so expensive.
We're just gonna throw that out there.
Yep. Her uncle was like, "Hey, you're 4. Here. It was really weird. Like she started.
It was really weird.
Like, right? Wasn't she like 4 or 5?
Very
and
young.
He bought her a fucking Stradivarius.
And was like, "Here you go.
Here you go. You like?
Don't drop it.
You like a music, huh? Here, do it."
Granddad hate music talk.
He really do.
Honey, by the way, was named after her complexion and hair, which are set in stone when you are a newborn.
Yep.
Exactly not. So Honey violins from her heart for Uncle Peter. Simon planted a flower.
At like for his after he's dead.
Yeah. Sorry. And
whilst he is alive, but then afterwards.
Yeah, and this is the morning time, which is Honey do a violin.
Oh, you morning.
Yep, and Simon.
May have been morning.
Simon plant a flower. Ha 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 ha.
This flower for Uncle Peter.
She also, Honey, notates most of our ancestors looked like they had hemorrhoids.
Yeah, all the pictures on the walls, there's grumpy-looking hemorrhoidal ancestors.
And the house is too dated for Mommy to invite friends over. And I say, girl...
Yeah, what?
Come on now.
That was weird...
Invite a friend over. Get a friend. Honey did farm work at an early age with Uncle Simon stepping in to help. First dribble. He was always watching over and helping and being there.
Yeah, she wrote it weird.
She wrote it weird.
Yeah, well, it was written, like, weird, but then...
As though Uncle Simon were a lurking presence.
Yeah, but then, like... And then we, the reader, was sort of made to feel guilty thinking about that because she's like, but I never felt that way. I never felt like it was weird.
Fucking weird.
After writing, like, it was kind of weird. And then she was like, why would you think that, reader? That was weird. There's feelings talk with Daddy.
Yes.
They go down. She's down at the dock because everyone has a pond in these books.
Hold on a second.
Oh, okay.
I got notes. Daddy never stood up to Granddad, possibly because of family secret. I wanted to notate. Mommy points out it's hypocritical about Simon only having a cold shower. And she says to Granddad, she was like, you take hot showers all the time. Mm-hmm. So Mommy does some clapbacks, which we enjoy.
Yeah, because he was like, well, God doesn't need us to have hot water all the time.
And she's like, you take 1,000 hot showers.
And he was like, well, he just shouldn't smell.
Don't smell.
So, stop smelling.
Mommy bathes twice a day and just douches in perfume.
Because of the farmy smell?
Because she's like, I smell like a farm.
But where does she go?
Where does she go? She has nary a friend.
Yeah, she doesn't have a job, right? She works on the farm.
Farm job.
That would smell so bad, like perfume covering up, like, cow shit and hay.
So I'm saying,
chicken
like,
shit.
when she gets up and maybe before dinner. Like, what's the scheduling here on these twice
Back to
daily
back.
baths? You do a whole full bath.
Yeah.
Shower, douche.
Yep.
And then another full bath.
Yes.
Great.
Back to bath.
Back to bath.
Bath to bath.
Bath to back. Bath to back.
I don't know why that was so funny.
Yeah, Honey's got callus. Now we're at the dock talk. Dock it up.
Oh, I don't know. Like, Dad, she was just sitting.
Doing a grief.
And then Daddy comes over to, like, have just a talk. And they have, like a feelingsy talk.
Yeah.
And it's the most, like, feelings talk that she's ever had with Daddy.
He's like, oh, your hands are so calloused for farm work, and the boy's not going to want to hold hands. And she was like, boys aren't holding my hands, Daddy.
She's like, I don't do a lot of hand-holding anyways. Lol.
Lol.
And then explains, like, that Mommy was basically a mail order bride. Like, that kind of comes up so randomly.
It really does.
He's like, so you sad about your Uncle Peter? I got your mom.
That's not
Your
how
mom was delivered to me.
No, she was talking about, so it was like the boy talk and the holding hands and tenderoni talks, but not like that.
Oh, right. And
then she was like, what about the love? And he was like, well, it was more like,
right. Like we met and then we fell in
got
love
married
after
first and then fell in love. It was more kindness at first sight. And she was like, what you mean, Daddy?
And then Honey feels better after the chat.
Yeah, it was a nice chat. It was noted. Uncle Peter played the field in their younger days, unlike Daddy, and maybe that's why Uncle Peter died.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, things that...
Maybe he fucked around a lot.
Like, Grandpa keeps alluding to, like, that... So there's, like... like, oh, Uncle Peter was, like, the apple of the corn of Granddad's eye.
The corn of his ear.
The corn of Granddad's ear. But then he keeps being like, well, that's why he died. Like, I don't... Things are very, what, the word that I can never remember. Contradictory. Contradictory. Granddad's really putting the dick in contradictory.
Hey. Okay, nicest chat ever. Haven't been holding hands lately. Have we gotten to the wealthiest boy in town yet?
Chandler Maxwell?
Chandler Maxwell, who is so freaking good at piano.
He's so good at piano, y'all.
He refuses to participate in school activities, so the presumption is that he is stuck up. But he's not unattractive.
Yeah, he may be snooty, but he a cutie snooty.
The music teacher wants him to try a duet, if I can say that.
Mr. Wengrove.
There was something about, like, how that was suggested, and she was like, throughout the day, he was avoiding me, and I asked, is he in all of Honey's classes? It was just weird. I don't know why I picked that up. Honey will
And he carries a briefcase in school, by the way.
I miss that detail.
I love that he wasn't the first person to briefcase at school, right?
No, remember Crystal?
Crystal had a briefcase because she's smart and wore glasses, y'all. Once. Not in any depiction, but...
No. We'll get there, by the way.
Lawyers at
with the factually inaccurate, the clashing of the step backs and descriptions in the next one, guys.
Yes, and even this one, I have.
You got more.
I have a
thing.
I have an observation for later. That's all.
I'm excited. Honey will take the pickup truck to the music teacher's house, and again with this, going to the music teacher's house. And then she's like, should I change before this lesson? It's the agony of choice. Should I do a rouge or lipstick? Uncle Simon.
So she put on some buzzing boots. No.
Uncle Simon.
Simon.
Would you like to explain this?
Oh, so I have this list called Good Names That Aren't Real Yet, and my favorite one is spelled Thfimon, which is pronounced Feynman. So I was excited to see Simon.
Just try it out.
In my mind, I'm like, Feynman. So, Feynman, great name. If anyone is pregnant or knows a pregnant person and they're struggling for a name, I suggest Feynman.
Great.
It really rolls off the...
It really rolls out the mouth. So, Uncle Simon washed the truck for her so it wouldn't be perceived as like a dirty farm truck. And it is mentioned there's a cheek smoocher. Why do we need to mention this? Unless there's something sinister about it.
But guess what?
There's not.
There's not, and how dare we think that? We're being... the reader's being judged for thinking the things that are implied.
We're being breadcrumbed.
Yes.
To incest.
Ew.
I'm just saying we are.
Breadcrumbed to incest.
This fall on TNT.
Oh, no.
So, here we go. There's a hard driveway bump that Granddad keeps there to remind us that life was full of bumps to avoid or tolerate. Now, it is notated prior to this that Granddad keeps all of his shit in good order.
So he didn't have to replace it.
Yeah. Now, for a man who's committed to keeping his shit in good working order, this bump seems like a great way to fuck up your vehicles.
Yeah, your suspension.
Every time you
scrape the underside of your car. Yeah, like, what is that?
Idiot. You fucking idiot.
Like, what? Like, what a weird proof to point.
Yeah. A little side journey. Mr. Wingrove is a bachelor who lived with his parents until they passed away. There was more of a side journey into, like, Mr. Wingrove's, like, house, and his mom died, and would he still live there? He was a bachelor, he was never married. Is he a queer? Didn't say that, but it was coded that way.
Yeah, I kind of reddited that was suggested as well.
And then that's pretty much a lot in a short amount of time about Mr. Wingrove, and then...
So that way we don't have to read about him again. Or, like, details about... We don't find out anything new. Because, again, this is like a 4-page...
book. It's a 4-page book.
So we get, like, weird...
side journeys.
We get weird, like, thick stacks of information, and then...
Not needed.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it would have been better if it was just like, Mr. Wingrove, the music teacher. I don't need to know any more about him.
Nice guy.
Great, done.
He's a supportive teacher.
I don't need 2 full paragraphs on his home and life and family history.
And his grand piano in his one-story house.
His grand piano.
It's just one room. It's a studio house.
You know, it's a tar paper shack with not even an upright piano. Full grand. Honey comes into the lesson very nervous. And then Chandler's like, excuse me, I have to make a phone call. It was like a weird... I don't... Ghostbusters? What do I know? And then she's like, he's got the person... She's thinking to herself that he's got the personality of a dead snail.
And I was like, I don't ever want to think about snails being dead. I think they're so cute.
Okay.
I was like, bummer. What a double rude thing to do about a snail.
And then...
To do about a snail.
She, like... rage violins, and it's also notated that Chandler's dad's bank carries the mortgage on the farm, little extraneous detail, because he rich and they farm.
But also, I was surprised to hear that the farm had a mortgage.
I know what you're saying about Granddad and his monies.
Yeah, and just the fact that the farm had been in the family for so long, like, it was weird to...
You think about, like, a HELOC, maybe you need, like, a line of credit to make some new farm... I don't fucking know.
That he doesn't buy? I don't know. It was just to connect them, and Chandler does mention a couple of times, like, yeah, my dad says that farm is, like, super profitable.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is notated that it's the bestest farm ever. In the bank, no-uns. In the bank, no-uns.
Which is like also like what a boring dad to just be like, that farm over there that the honey child lives on.
It's a tit-ass farm.
It's a tit-ass farm. Titties and ass farm.
So
that's what they grow. Titties and ass.
Ooh, ass, titties. Ass, titties.
Ass, ass.
So Chandler fills Honey with rage. She speaks in riddles, she says. And then
he says?
No, she's like, someone's speaking in riddles. That's not an organic statement for me. I'm sure I copied it. Do I remember how or why? No. And then she thinks that he really do have beautiful eyes.
Yeah, that was a jump.
It was a jump. There's a nude posing in front of the mirror scene.
Love that. Again, very
she notates
American Beauty.
That she has a perky figure tits. Perky figure.
Yeah.
Titties up.
Titties up.
They ain't no hang downs.
Pretty standard teenage
neater tits. They're up.
Oh,
there's
God.
No
cover your neater tits.
There's no hang down droopies. So they mentioned a light opera date, or was it a full blown date? I asked myself.
Know.
Will we get it?
He calls her after she gets home or
that
something
was it.
like that. Yeah. And then she was like, oh my God.
Is this a full blown date?
Oh no.
I'm wondering if we're going to get a makeover scene. I ask myself.
The next day in school.
Just before she goes to sleep, Honey realizes that her window coverings were wide open while she was nude. And wouldn't you know that Uncle Simon's has windows that look upon her windows, if I can say that.
Again, another bait.
Again.
Another breadcrumb to incest. Mm-hmm. But...
the plate
but how dare us, reader, think?
Breadcrumbs, the plate was empty. What? I imagine it was like a trap, like there's a plate, and you think you're going to have a meal of incest.
So you're following the breadcrumbs to the plate, and it's the box that's held up by the stick with the rope with the string on it.
We think we're going to get an uncle fucker.
Oh my God.
But we ain't.
Fucking uncle fucker. So next day at school.
Cold shoulder.
Yeah, Honey's she was kind of like looking forward to talking to Chandler Maxwell, like partly because like he didn't talk to anybody.
He didn't talk to anybody.
She was like kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool that like maybe we'll be talking and
will they be talking?
And then she was like all like kerfuffled that he wouldn't talk to her. And Karen Jacobs shows up. Like, she's the school goss.
She is mousy with dull brown eyes.
Mousy looking girl with big though dull brown eyes. Big though dull. No comma there.
Big though dull.
Big though dull brown eyes. Whose life was apparently so boring she fed off everyone else's sadness as well as happiness. Almost 90% of what she said to anyone daily was in the form of a question. Sometimes I thought she resembled a squirrel, hoarding information, tidbits, anecdotes about other people like acorns. And sometimes I thought she was more like a parasite, existing solely off the life of her hosts, in which case was anyone who cared to share his or her revelations. Nice. I saw you said something to Chandler Maxwell. What did you say? I said hi. Why? Why not? Anyways, so yeah, it's just very. Who asks those questions?
Gossip.
You said something to someone.
Why are you talking? She homed in on Honey's interest in Chandler, and I say, is not this the expression honed?
Oh yeah, homed in.
The expression's right honed in. Am I wrong?
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, 541.
There's
homing pigeon. Can you hone
whatever it is? It's wrong.
No, I think it is home. You hone a skill. You can hone.
Can we Google this?
Yeah.
I mean, we can.
Okay.
There's secret note passing to avoid gossip.
And then...
but the gossip gals at lunch, it do be.
Yeah, Karen is like, didn't Chandler Maxwell just hand you something? Is it a secret? And she's like, it's some fucking English notes. Leave me alone.
There's Susie Weaver. She's a very attractive redhead who is already dating college boys. Notated slut. Again.
Oh, it's the same. Okay. Okay. No, okay. They both refer to narrowing in on a particular topic. Home in means to locate and move towards something. Hone in means to focus on something. So she was homing in, I believe, for the radar. I think it's both.
Can I tell you this thing about Susie Weaver?
They're both acceptable.
Not to me.
Well, okay. I'm just saying.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Ah.
Great.
Okay. I just wanted to be right immediately.
Well, you were right.
Okay, thank you.
But this wasn't wrong.
Oh my God, are we both right? I don't like that.
You and Niederman are the same.
So Susie Weaver, her lips softened and spread like two strips of butter in a frying pan.
Yeah, what the fuck?
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 Ugh. A little, you know what? And there's a lot of lip descriptors that, and I don't know why.
Descriptors?
Because in my mind, lips can be neutral. There's later on in another book wherein someone is described as having like firm, straight lips.
Hot dog lips, rubbery.
Straight lip, like it's known as like a positive attribute, and I couldn't stop thinking about that emoji with just the straight line.
Maybe they meant heterosexual lips.
Okay, they weren't around a dick. Regarding Karen the gossip, I felt like smearing my pizza over her pudgy blah face. And is this the first mention of her pudge? Obviously, she's a pudge because she's a gossip and a bad kid.
Or she could just have a pudgy face.
I'm just saying.
No.
Okay, okay, great.
And then she's like, yeah, they're just like, why are you ashamed? Are you doing something kinky?
There's extended prose about not being like other girls. I'm not like other girls. I'm superficial, and I'm just a corn broad. And
I'm just a corn broad.
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm just a corn broad. I could go for some corn broad right now.
Oh, broaden your corns. Wait, what?
You have broadened the corns of my life since 1990. Thank you.
Those are like foot calluses, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
It's very hard to walk at this point.
Carrying you.
When there was one set of footprints.
You broadened my corns.
That's when my corns were so broad you had to carry me.
Chandler offers Honey a ride home, and she's like, he's got a CD player and a car phone.
So new. The leather smelled wonderful.
Grand.
A telephone. She doesn't say a car phone. A built-in CD player and a telephone, too.
It's a rotary phone on the dash.
I didn't want to seem like someone who had never left the farm. She was like, I was impressed, but I wasn't like, oh my god, a vehicular telephone?
Car telephone. But by the by, she never leaves the farm. Unsurprisingly, Granddad is unimpressed with this boy and his rides.
Another stupid thing, comment about girls. You know, we had like bubble gum and like airheads or whatever, like
just
cotton candy brains or whatever.
Like, the superficial kid.
So Chandler's saying like, it happened to me once before, like read the gossip. And he's just like, I was in 10th grade, you probably don't remember, I was going with Audra Lothrop for a week or so. Her friends really made fun of her and turned her against me. I decided most of the girls in the school are lollipops.
Oh.
Lollipops? Shiny, sweet, and insubstantial, he recited. You're the first girl I've spent any time with who's focused on something other than her hairdo. I think hairdo is such a funny word.
Yeah, that's a term that's interesting. Hairdo. Hair don't.
Hair do not.
Can you hair do not?
Hairdo or hair do not?
There's no try. There's only hairdo or hair do not.
Yep. There is no hair try.
There's a hair tie, but no hair try. Anyway, it's Uncle Simon's birthday, which is apparently heathen.
Simon.
And Mommy's Russian fury makes family dinner happen. She like mini hulks out over the table because Granddad's like, fuck this guy. And she's like, there's a fucking birthday. We will have a motherfucking birthday.
Yeah, I think he says, he's just like, birthdays are like, what?
Heathen.
Birthdays are for people who don't love Jesus. No, we can't let him in the house.
You stay outside the fucking house.
What?
They're shopping for date clothes. Honey chooses a fuchsia paisley sleeveless top, which was the style at the time. We were aware in 2001. Fuchsia paisley. I mean, more factually accurate would be like a low-rise jean and a whale-tail thong. Then she also gets a bodycon skirt with a ruffle hem.
I thought, it says like Friday after school, Mommy went shopping with her at the mall, and she helped me find a new dress and matching shoes. So, are the shoes paisley? Like, also, what is this? Like, is there there's like
many different outfits.
So there's like, okay, so that's what I got confused about, actually. So she says, she helped me find a new dress and matching shoes. We were there, I bought Uncle Simon his birthday present. He's going to be 45, blah, blah, blah. Then it goes into like why Granddad is mad about heathen birthdays. And then they go back to the
shop,
back to the mall, right?
Let's go back to the mall.
Yeah. And where she says she found him a beautiful new set of gardening tools. And then a card specially designed for an uncle.
They have those.
Where she notes, I never called him anything and never viewed him as a step-uncle. Even though I was old enough to understand what that meant. At 17, oh my god, you're so advanced. But then it had been some time since Mom and I had gone shopping together. By watching television, she had seen the changes of fashion.
Oh, television.
But it was still a bit shocking and curious to her. Then, she says, I ended up choosing a round-neck, sleeveless shell top in an all-over paisley print with shades of fuchsia, burgundy, and black. To wear with it, I bought a stretchy pull-on knee-length skirt with 1-inch ruffle at the hem. To complete the outfit, I chose platform shoes that had crocheted uppers with stretch elastic ankle straps and ridged sole.
Steve,
that is not a dress and matching shoes. These pages are facing each other. Yeah. Like, he forgot when he went into, the...
interject to not into disrupt our flow? But this is a question I'd be thinking about. And very specifically, within the past 48 hours. Does Niederman like writing these books, or is it just a paycheck? And which one is better? Great, does he care? Does he like doing this?
I think it said that he likes doing this, right? Well,
for a press, sure.
Right.
Or is he just like, fuck it, what do I care? We have contradictory information all the time. This is a thinker. Think about it.
I think also, it seems pretty clear that he, picks back up in places and then maybe cobbles stuff together. And that's why.
But wouldn't you care enough to try to not fucking do that?
Yeah, it's weird that they talk about, they start the chapter with, we went to the mall and bought this. And then it's this is why we went to the mall.
Yeah.
And this is what I bought, which is not what I just said.
So I'm just wondering, is he just oh, well, I gotta fart out some mini boys for the check or the contract and then get back to my serious writing. Does he like it? And it's just if you did like it, wouldn't you try?
I don't know.
And I don't know which is better or worse. Would I respect him more for being well, it's just a fucking paycheck? Is that better or worse? I'm trying to think, would that... It's just a thought I've been thinking.
I don't know. I think...
Because is it not worse for him if he's actually trying and just sucking?
I think... I blame, as I have blamed, in large part, the editing of this.
Okay.
The editor should have caught that.
Sure. Okay.
Right? Because, you're a writer, right? You got a lot of stuff going on. Some things maybe...
Many small boys in the hopper.
Placeholders, you know what I mean? Cobbled together, okay, I'm going back, fleshing this stuff up, going. Maybe he didn't... that's what an editor is for, is to catch this stuff.
Yo.
What?
Yo.
What?
I just did a reread within the past couple of months of Misery. Mm-hmm. And there's a point where the main character is he's done with his shit book and to get his serious work done, and then he has a realization that maybe he doesn't hate his shit books.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to lock Niederman away in a cabin and fucking bludgeon him? Maybe
if he disappears, don't come looking for us.
This
I don't even know where he lives.
Sacrosanct.
Jesus Christ.
Mommy is
Mama.
She's a good mom and not a shit mom.
Yeah.
She asks Daddy to pick up recent fashion magazines because she's I'm going to cut Honey's hair and I don't want it to look jank.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's
your next thought.
What I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about, okay.
Working on my hairdo. She says she used to do her mother's hair.
Yada, yada, yada.
Well, it was cute.
Is it getting ready scene?
She was talking about her mother. Her hair was the color of dark almonds. I think almonds are the same. They're the same color all the time. And is it the almond skin or the inside of the almond? If it's an inside of the almond and it's toasted, she could say that.
Toasted almond hair.
But so there was a sweet talk about her, and her mommy, and they had a hard life in...
I was surprised to get a nice mommy.
Yeah, had a hard life in Russia. Her father died from a heart valve problem. Mommy got super old, very fast. One of those, aged 17 decades in 1/2 hour after the hard life of being alone. The hard laborins. Poor sanitary and conditions.
Perhaps
and then
this is why she bathes back to back.
Maybe. And one of the last things Mommy's mommy said was, get away from here whenever you can. Whatever way you can. And then she went to live with her aunt, who just was here you go, Daddy, honey.
Here's a picture. Dad. And she said that Daddy looked kind in his photo, and because he grew things, he would be a good man.
How did you get so wise, Mommy? I was looking her in the mirror. Pain, she replied.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that can be the best teacher. But what good is it all if I can't pass the wisdom to you, my darling daughter? So she does all the hair doings, right? And it's
Yeah.
My God, I can't believe this haircut. Can we look at the front?
They all have long hair.
No.
Oh, which one?
She's that one.
Okay.
She just, like, gave her a mullet. She, like, chopped the shit out of those bangs.
She really did.
That is not a 2001 haircut. What is that?
What season is she?
What season is she?
What hair season? It's the Honey's new hairstyle is the talk of the farm fam. But Granddad says Honey looks like a cheap girl of the streets. And Mommy says, how do you know what they look like?
I love that.
Yep.
How do you know what the girls on the streets are looking like, Granddad?
Mommy says, beware, old man. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. And then there's a dinner stare down. And Mommy wins. And then a corsage.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the prom. You go to dinner. It's not the prom.
It's a little weird, yeah.
It's a little weird. They go to a French restaurant.
Corsages. That's like that. That's
prom,
one of those
that's
like
prom shit.
Well, that's just one of those like indicators that Niederman's a bit behind the times.
An antiquated Nieder
Yes,
thing.
because I think that like back in like the 50s and 60s, like maybe you did
would corsage someone.
Maybe you did on a
date,
like a formal date,
a full blown date,
a formal date to the soda shop.
not a half blown. Chandler's parents are with the congressman for his re-election campaign, and Honey says she won't be marrying for money. There's a valet, a corner booth, but no wine. Fancy French water, though.
Obviously.
He's got a built-in wealth detector, this Chandler do. They have duck and creme brulee. Nice.
I don't care for duck. Do you like duck?
Yeah, I've had it one time and I liked it. I like fatty things.
I don't, it's not about
My
the duck.
ass.
I like... You eat your own ass?
You don't know what I do. I'm not not that flexible.
Yeah, I was surprised. Don't lie to dear listener. She cannot flex that way. I would have heard about it. Yeah, if you could eat your own ass and you didn't tell me about it, this is the most ridiculous conversation we've ever had. God damn it.
Let's see. There's a good show and a smoocher. But Granddad wants to know about the sinful touches and the wage of sin is death. Cool. And God saw that Peter and Honey were too close, and that's why he was struck down. Is this another breadcrumb to incest? Like, it's really, like, can I say, there's almost like Granddad's obsession with Honey's, like, youth and sexuality that goes no fucking where. Do you know, I thought there was going to be, like, definitely, like, a Kathy's mom vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
No.
And Mommy was like, you're not free of sin. And he's like, why did I wrote he owns nothing?
Oh.
He's not a church-going man. He's one of those, like, I worship in my home, like in Carrie. Simon sells his flowers, and Granddad demands 1%.
But that was a weird thing.
That was a weird fucking thing, too.
It wasn't weird to say that he sold his flowers. Sure. But where it came in, it was just like...
Oh, and this is happening.
Like, it had been happening for a while. It was just a weird throwaway. It would have made more sense to... At the beginning, when they were talking about like the relationship between Uncle Simon and Granddad, just like he does all this work, he also sells his flowers.
Oh,
but
by the by, Uncle Simon make flowers so good, y'all.
Oh my God, he makes flowers so good, y'all.
There's a weird birthday violin time. Granddad is loving and then very abrupt.
Yeah, he like looks appreciative and then is like, oh my God, is someone seeing the appreciation in my eyes? Nope.
There's a chilly family secret vibe.
For no
fucking reason.
I don't.
Chandler and Honey are officially an item. And he loosens up a little bit. And then
Susie Weaver is like, we took a vote and decided you've been a good influence on Chandler Maxwell. He's almost a human being now.
Lollipops.
And then she's like, thank you so much for the compliments, I said with a cold smile. It's a coincidence. What? Why? Chandler and I were wondering when you were going to become a human being, I replied, and left her with her mouth open wide enough to attract a whole hive of bees, which is how you attract bees. You just open your mouth. Bees are only attracted to open mouths, and they move the whole hive in there. A whole hive.
So
the hive, just like
the Candyman.
Yes, but I was more thinking also that like the Jedi like lifting like the whole hive just like moves through the air into the mouth.
It's just going.
Not the bees from the hive. The entire hive.
I'm sorry. This is a short boy, so I'm gonna do another side Jordy.
Okay.
Candyman. Mm-hmm. So he's a ghost made of bees. But then in the end, she, like, stabs him. You can't stab a ghost made of bees. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
But, like, also, like, oh, he was the good guy?
Okay.
Right? Like, it was one of those, like, he was treated by society in this way, and so in death he had revenge, but in life he was actually not a bad guy.
Yeah, but, I mean, I did a rewatch a few years ago, and I just remember that scene at the end where Virginia Madsen is like, stab! And I was like, well, but he's a real man? Is he a ghost?
It is the, it's for, it's a metaphorical sense.
Okay, great.
Right?
Thanks. I must have checked out and clicked back in.
P.S., did you see the remake?
I have not.
I really enjoyed that. I thought it was very good. And it did better in being like, yeah, this guy got a bum deal.
That racial undertone.
Mm-hmm. It was excellent.
Which was an overtone. Where am I? Oh, so we get the notification of the school ends, and literally everyone is that fucking salsa commercial where they go, New York City!
New York City! So yeah, like Mr. Wengrow just happens to mention, right? Like, I think you're really good. I have somebody that I know.
I know a guy.
And I can get you
the auditions.
Yeah, there's no like school variety night here.
For once we don't have a talent show.
Yeah, there's just like a connection.
A guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting.
Honey says something which I fucking love. It made me nervous to think about it, so I didn't. Great. Have we gotten to the date outfits? Or am I
yes, so Chandler wants to go to the movies. He's like, let's do something cash to celebrate,
let's go
like a movie
cash.
and a pizza to celebrate our musical success.
Just to put on her pizza pants.
So on Friday, Chandler drove up to take me to the movies. I had put on a mustard-colored light sweater and a pair of jeans with a pair of high-heeled sneakers I had managed to get Mommy to buy me.
Baby
Despite how
spice.
silly she thought they looked. She couldn't understand why they were the rage. I had my hair
Spice
tied
Girls.
in a ponytail. I thought that outfit actually sounded really cute. I was like, I'd wear like a mustard sweater and jeans.
Sure.
Sneakers. And you look like Debbie Reynolds in one of those old movies, Chandler declared as soon as he saw me come bounding down the front steps. I love it.
A very modern reference.
I thought that was really... Because her hair was in a ponytail is how I read that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was wearing a black mock turtleneck shirt, which brought out the dark color in his eyes. I thought he looked very sexy and practically leaped into the car to sit beside him. I couldn't remember when I'd been happier. And then, as we started away, Granddad came out of nowhere into the driveway and stood in the wash of Chandler's car headlights. His gray hair looked like it was on fire, his eyes blazing at us. Chandler hit the brake pedal and I gasped. "Who's that?" he cried. "My granddad," I said. "Well, what's he doing?"
What's he fucking doing?
Granddad simply stood there in our way staring at us. Suddenly he raised his right hand and I saw he was holding his sacred old Bible. He held it up like some potential victim of a vampire will hold up a cross in a horror movie.
Hormones.
And then he stepped to the side and disappeared into the shadows. Chandler turned to me amazed. What was that all about? Just drive.
Nothing's fucking good. Watch the bump. Get out of here.
Sure. Sure, he said, and accelerated, taking the bump too hard. This was so funny.
It's like we actually just watched the movie X last month. It was very much like an old person in the headlights. Oh god, jump scare!
I just really like that. He just like slunk away. He's just like, Bible, and then slunk away into the shadows.
Apparently, he
funny look. What was that?
He used to rant religious stuff at Honey. So Chandler's parents, we have the classic busy business dad and busy charity mom. Pianoans. Chandler's technically good, but has no passion at the piano. He's just good at it.
He's just like, I'm just good.
So Honey notates she feels a warm glow rise from under her breasts, and I say, like, you got some heat rash?
The piano doesn't play him.
Yeah, Honey will say that. What is it? She doesn't play the violin. The violin plays her.
Which is what Uncle Peter told her.
Uncle Flax and Daddy.
Uncle Flax and boyfriend, Daddy Uncle.
Oh boy, she is her own grandpa. So Chandler says to our protagonist, Honey, have you ever seen a DVD movie? And she says, I don't even know what that is. I actually dropped it I did a U. I was like, but then I actually did a Google and I was like, all right. DVDs were actually just coming on the market now, so I guess I don't have it.
Oh, because at pizza, they're like, she's like, let's just go. You want to go back to my place instead?
Watch a DVD
We have like
movie?
a whole setup. It'll be better than the actual movies. And I think Honey's like, the screen was practically the same size. That would be a huge fucking room. Or they have a tiny theater in
It
town.
is notated that when they get there, his home is on a grand track of land, TRACK. And I say, isn't it tract, T-R-A-C-T? Yes,
She got huge tracts of land.
Oh, boy.
You remember from Monty Python?
I don't watch Monty Python.
Anyone who got that reference, please comment below.
Always, because it's like it's a Spencer house. It's always the longest dining table ever to be seen with eyes.
I'd like to line up all of these dining room
It's like
tables.
football fields long.
Like, are they all at the end of the day the same size, and that's why they're always the largest because it's the same table?
Oh, maybe.
Or which table's the longest? Do you think?
What was that one that was like? It was like this. I think it was at one of the orphans, and it was like it could have filled all the orphanarium,
The whole orphanarium.
times 12. But then we were like, weren't there like fucking 2 people at the orphanarium? Anyway,
Maybe it was the one where I think that was the one where the mom wanted Butterfly to be the ballet dancer because she was in the wheelchair.
I think we know the real answer is that the longest dining table ever on Earth was at Foxworth Hall.
Probably, yeah.
Because you could write Dollinger 400 times in the dust. He's got closets of rich
Dollinger.
mahogany full of
Rich
his
mahogany.
DVD movies. There's more smooching on the settee. Mm-hmm. And then there's
Even though they're stuffed with pizza.
breast gazing.
Another one of those like, I really like you, honey.
Okay.
I really like you.
There's Spidey fingies on the bra clip. She has one single wave of pleasure, not like previous notations of waves plural, so step it up, Chandler. And then Honey like sees a vision of Granddad and is like, oh, ah!
Like the serpent whispered into Eve's ear, I heard Granddad say. I love it. I think I love you, honey.
Okay,
I can't imagine
girl.
liking someone as much as I like you without it being love.
All right.
That's what he whispered, and then Granddad was like,
Bonus. And then,
Thunder was in her head, by the way.
oh, okay.
Her blood was rushing so fast around her body.
So Honey's like, can we fucking stop? And Chandler gets butter.
Wait, hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
The spider. What is written, though? His fingers and palm traveled like a hungry spider up to my bra clip, which he squeezed and it did so quickly I barely had a chance to shake my head.
Ooh. If you want to do something, do it very fast before she can say no.
Yeah.
I think that's a loophole in the whole consent discussion. Is if you go fast, she doesn't have a chance to say no.
I could feel the great struggle going on inside me, the battle between forces that wanted me to push him away and jump up, and the forces that wanted me to soften, relax, fall back, and invite him to go further and further.
Relax.
You do love me too, don't you, honey? Don't you? He pleaded, lifting my sweater so he could bring his lips and breasts.
Why do you have to read it like that? It ruins it. It ruins the single wave of pleasure.
But suddenly I imagine Granddad standing there looking down at us, nodding. He extended his arm to put his Bible on Chandler's back, and I screamed. That's why Chandler was butthurt. She screamed at him. Aw, don't you like me enough, honey?
No. But they talk it out. And we meet Chandler's parents. His mom is draped in diamonds.
Diamonds.
Daddy is in a tux with a silk scarf, and their names are Dalton and Amanda.
Very interesting.
Dalton and Amanda. Those are the richest of stuffy rich names. Chandler.
Yes, Amanda Darling. Yes, Dalton Darling.
Doesn't want to be like his parents, so he is adrift. When Honey gets home, she sees there's a Bible left on the bed, blah, blah, blah. She's a fornicator.
Yeah, there was like the passage,
Yes,
notated.
and Honey wonders why she's the target of Granddad. So do I. My theory was something to do with Simon, because we have all these breadcrumbs to incest. Mommy. So we haven't talked about it, but we know the audition's coming.
Oh, wait, do you want me to read the quote?
Sure.
He had marked 1 Corinthians 5:11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater?
Idolater.
What is that?
One who worships an idol.
Oh, that makes sense. Or a railer, or one who rails, or a drunkard, or an extortioner. With such a one, no, not to eat. Put away from among yourselves that wicked person. And then she's like, what did he mean? Chandler? Me? What does that mean?
5'11", never forget. Mommy is like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do the field work to protect your violin hands. And they talk to Mr. Wengrow about the school. And then Honey, like, low-key confronts Mommy about Granddad's obsession with her. And Mommy's like, just practice hard and get out of here. Again, like, what? Never a closure on this. Chandler brings sheet music and audition suggestions. I notate this is yet another like Phil Spector Svengali vibe, where all of our like ladies have a man's/boy to like mold her and like do something, do the work with them and do the this and the that.
Here, you can't choose music yourself.
Right.
Even though the violin plays you. No. Nay.
They have innocent. I want to notate innocent pawn times. They were sitting on the dock and like just dipping their toesies in. And then the fucking Granddad pops out of the bushes with a fucking machete.
Yeah, what a psycho. It's with a machete?
Yeah, he had a fucking machete.
Jesus Christ.
And then Chandler just bustles off. He's like, I gotta go, bye. And
same. Me too, Chandler.
Great. And Honey does the old, I wish Granddad was dead. She goes to her room, and there's, like, a big old fight between Granddad and Daddy, and then there's, like, almost fisticuffs, if not for Simon stepping in, and then there's dinner.
Daddy's name is Isaac, by the way. I feel like they don't mention that until page 626.
Okay, because I made my note in the next book. I was like, did we fucking know Daddy's name? I guess we did.
I forgot already, but I notated also that we heard Mommy's name in the next book, but I don't think we had heard it in this little
she just
bitty
Mommy.
bits.
She just Mommy. Then they have dinner. I think I notated it because it was just like the core fam. And then there's like a post-church, post-breakfast chat about Granddad losing his marbles. Uncle Simon was uncharacteristically sick. He's so strong he never gets sick.
No.
But he was sick. So Honey goes up to like bring him food and play a violin, and he does a feverish listenings. And then she's like, Mommy always gave me a kiss on the forehead to check my fever.
Yeah, just not even kiss, but just like you check someone's temperature with your lips on the forehead. That's what you do.
In the doorway is a shrieking Granddad who says she's a Jezebel.
He like never go like they had notated before. He never ever goes into the bar and up to Simon's.
It was notated.
But then shrieking. You're a whore,
Jezebel.
You're a whoresabel!
The whore word. I know to tisk tisk.
Tisk tisk.
But Simon arises naked from the bed. Again, like, why does he have Niederman? Why does he have to be naked?
Because he's sick and he wants to be comfy.
I am less comfortable naked.
Well, that's you.
Okay.
Don't project your shit.
I spoke so quickly it turned my throat into a tunnel with sandpaper walls.
Ew.
That's what she said.
I know. But hey, I don't know. Like, sometimes when you're fever, you're, like, sweaty and, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he just, like, tore his clothes off and he was sweaty. It's not like he was just lounging up there nude. He was,
which is your right to do.
Yeah.
There's someone at some point says, it's come to pass. And Daddy goes out, and then there's ungodly screams from behind the barn, and Granddad, like, ripped up Simon's beautiful garden. And
trashed it.
Simon is gonna scythe him. He's got a scythe.
Scytheman.
And the big secret is that Granddad is Simon's real dad. Who gives a shit?
No one gives a shit.
No one gives.
They talked about how this being like a earth-shattering secret.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, and that's why he hates him and wants him to live in the barn.
It's a reminder of some type of sin. Oh, okay.
Because he had an affair with...
I don't know. Oh. I think it was the sister-in-law? Does that mean he's Daddy's full brother?
No. Half-brother.
Okay.
Half-brother. But not adopted brother.
I don't know who the mom was.
I don't fucking... Whatever.
This is not a revelation.
Sister. That's why he married her after his wife died. He got Simon's mom preggo with Simon, had Peter and Daddy, in whatever order. Their mom died. He married the sister because he had already borked her up. I don't know.
So... blah blahsin, and Mommy's like, you have to guess, you gotta confess and to Simon the truth, and he goes, I don't confess to him. And I was like, really, Queen? Okay. So Granddad like just flees off to the field, and then everyone's like, Simon, come sleep in the house. Finally.
Well, because he runs off to the field, and then they go to try to find him.
They're all like, okay.
They go after him 1 minute later. and find him.
So no, that's not yet, because he was like off in the field for like a full day, I think. They just he runs off, and they're like, all right, I guess we're gonna let him cool off a bit. Why don't you come into the house? And I know,
like, you don't feel good.
Come house.
Have
a bath and a soup. Granddad force married his sister-in-law through emotional abuse. And then after a late lunch, perhaps it's time to go find Granddad.
I just sorry, that's really funny. The note was funny, and your delivery was also funny.
Peter,
just have a nice late lunch.
Oh, guess we should go find the screaming old religious man in the fields.
Death, quick shower.
Scythe. It says Peter was Granddad's only light, which was fucking rude as shit.
Again, for no reason.
Granddad dies in the woods with his Bible.
They just find him, he's like clutching his Bible to his chest, and they're like,
great.
All right. Bye.
The violins at the funeral. I'm just gonna say that the rest of what happens in my notes, it's all the blah 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 wrap up.
I like how the funeral though, like that chapter starts with Granddad Foreman's funeral wasn't a big one. Most of his friends and acquaintances he had were either dead or too sick and weak to attend.
Nobody liked this fucker. You really enjoyed that?
Just like oof. There was no one there.
So here's the blah blahs and the yadas. Blah blah blah, so close with Chandler, so many violin times, it's warmer nights, yada yada yada, school year coming to a close, skinny dip, classic. Mm-hmm. There's no sex though, because there's like a granddad miasma around the pond and water times. Mm-hmm. By the by, Granddad had so many secret money.
Yep.
So why he was so thrifty.
Like, they were so rich. I think Mommy makes a comment like, I think we're actually richer than your boyfriend.
My boyfriend! Time to go to New York and play for the flowers. That's what Uncle Simon says. He says, pretend you're playing for the flowers. Page 636 in the Omniboots. Bend and not break. Same audition story. She plays to the flowers in the front row. There's like this exposition building up the graduation and blah 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 blah. There's ships to the sea or some fucking metaphor. Acceptance to the school, obviously. Simon does a flower decorations for the graduation ceremony. Stargazing and the end.
Yep.
It was like, and when we say it's the wrap up like prose, it's all that kind of like. The future was futuring towards the future of the forward.
Well, we also have Chandler being like, don't fall in love with anybody else.
The end, I guess.
I don't want to. Alright.
Yep, that's that. The next one up is Falling Stars, which is when all the forces combine to fall in the stars.
Captain Planet.
To go to the School of Arts, and it's wild, y'all. I can't wait to get into it.
We're gonna have some snacks and lunch first.
Yeah, it's gonna be snacky lunchy time, and then
2 weeks for you.
2 weeks for you. You can have a long lunch, a late lunch.
A late lunch, then go look for Granddad.
He's in the field.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Good.
Yep.
That's
Good ending. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Aw, thanks for listening to VC's Podcast. Dear listener, we hope you enjoyed it.
Technical support was provided by Boo and Matt. Thanks for answering all of my stupid questions.
Music is Dust in My Attic by Broke MC. We use it under a Creative Commons.
Email us at vcspcspodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts or comments.
You can also follow us on the grams, the Instagrams. Our handle is at VCspcspodcast.
New episodes are released every other Friday to give you time to read along. In the meantime, find your talent, forget your family drama.
Oh, please make sure you bend and don't break. I'm broken.
You done did?
I just can't believe you made me say that.
Yeah.